This is the Fantasy Roadshow.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Fantasy Roadshow. We are your hosts. My name is Truck. His name is Kulz. You can find me at fantasy_trucker. You can find Kulz at Kulz_sports. Make sure you follow the show at Fantasy Roadshow and check out the Substack, thefantasyroadshow.substack.com. Kulz, how you doing, buddy?
What up, brah?
Oh, not too much. How was your you went bird hunting this weekend? You had an eventful weekend, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I went bird hunting.
I'm bagging any birds?
I did. I got about 40. I'm fucking hungry, so
okay.
My Chinese food here got here right as the stream started, so I don't want to sell the roadie short, but I am starving. So let's hammer out our
week.
Games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we had it was a crazy week this week. Week 4, 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock games in the books. Right now we're watching Kansas City is winning right now 3-0 to the Jets.
Were you boozing today?
Boozing right now, buddy. Got me a nice beer right here. Got a little Corona.
Love it. Bears are fucking good, huh?
Hey, Justin Fields threw 3 quarters. It was like 23 of 24, 285 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, so if your quarterback's having the best game of his career, then why did you run halfback dives in 3 straight plays at the end of the game? 4 straight plays answers. And on 4th down.
That was pretty much, yeah. So my main takeaway is the Bears need to fire Matt Eberflus. His call to go for it on 4th down, it was 4th and 1. We're on like their 18-yard line. We should have kicked
your non-power back to just go up the middle and get stopped.
Yes, completely idiotic. And unfortunately, when you make a call like that and it goes wrong, you're kind of on the hot seat. So. I think they should fire Matt Eberflus. I'm done with him at this point. And our offensive coordinator as well while we're at it. So I'm just kind of fed up. Although
it was almost like they're trying to tank, which may
that's where I'm at right now. I don't want to just win a game here and there. Like if we're gonna be middle of the road, I'd rather be the worst. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Give me a high pick. The 2 draft picks the Bears own in the first round next year are the Panthers and the Bears. They're both 0-4. So we're looking good right now. If we end up with the first 2 picks, it definitely helps.
And a completely new coaching staff?
Yeah, new coaching staff. You got potentially a new quarterback, maybe Marvin Harrison. Who knows? I know it's a little early. It's only week 4. I don't want to speculate how the draft is going to go next year in April, but it's looking good for the Bears right now, being 0-4, and the Panthers also being 0-4. So,
yeah. Well, let's hammer through these games, and you're gonna have to do a lot of catching me up to speed. As you said, I was dove hunting, driving back, getting just traveling for most of it. But
yeah,
I had Red Zone on in the car, so I know. I wasn't locked in maybe the first half of the 12 o'clock games, but I've been around and know what's going on. But
okay,
yeah,
so I'll fill you in as we go. I paid attention. I was watching pretty much every game today, I think except for maybe 2. There wasn't enough screens during the 12 o'clock game to keep me happy. But
yep.
So the first one we want to talk about is the Falcons and Jaguars in London. It was the Toy Story game, and I don't. You didn't catch any of this, correct?
No.
Okay, so I watched the Toy Story stream on Disney Plus first before I watched the ESPN, like the actual stream, and I want to say it was very ambitious. It was very cute. It was it seemed like a fun representation of football, And for it being the first time they did it, it turned out decent, although it was kind of laggy. Like the ball was like, all over the place. It wasn't as it should be. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I did enjoy it somewhat, but they just need to fine tune a lot of it. And I like where they're going with it. I think it was pretty cool, but it was hard to watch as a football fan. You know what I mean?
I don't even. Is there a video I can watch? I don't even know.
Oh yeah, I'll send you a clip. I'll send you a clip of it so you can watch it. But yeah, it just didn't translate exactly how it should have. You know what I mean? It didn't work out the best, but I like what they're trying to do with that. However, for this game, it's same story here for another week. The Falcons struggle offensively. Last week they score 6 points. This week they score 7 points. They just can't get it going on offense. Big game out of Bijan Robinson. He was juking people left and right. He had a.
I hate Art Smith. Like, what? He's just use Bijan more. He's the only time you guys look good on offense is when Bijan has the ball. So do that.
And so that's what I wanted to bring up first.
They'll get him to the red zone, and then he brings in Algier. He'll get stuffed at the line. Like Bijan doesn't get stuffed at the line because he makes a cut and decides to run somewhere else because he just can.
So what I wanted to bring up is we're starting to see Bijan run away with this job. Week 1, the carry split. Bijan had 10 carries to Algier's 15. Week 2, Bijan had 19 to Algier's 16. Week 3, Bijan had 10 to Algier's 7. This week, 14 to Algier's 7. So he's finally starting to get the majority of the workload. And I think that's a step in the right direction for this Falcons team. But ultimately, I think they need to get rid of. They need to sit Ritter.
All of it, or at the right time. Like Ritter's horrible. That pick 6 was so bad. But
trash.
Then, like when Bijan breaks off a 60-yarder and gets you in the red zone, he doesn't need to be taken out of the game.
Yeah,
for Algier.
No, I completely agree.
And then you run the ball 3 times and punt. Like Bijan's going to get you in the end zone, so give it to him. Rely on him.
Exactly. Feed him the ball. He just looks so good. And Algier, spell him out occasionally. But I kind of like how it was split up, the 14-7 this week. So we see more of that, maybe a 20-8 workload split. I like that moving forward for Bijan. But yeah, I think Heineke needs to come into this game or come in as a starting quarterback next week or the week after. They need to do something because scoring 6 points last week and 7 points this week, you're not going to beat anybody doing that. So that's kind of where I'm at there. Jacksonville bounces back after that loss last week. They're in their home field of London.
Right.
Yeah. Travis Etienne, not so much. 20 carries, 55 yards. I think that amounted to a 2.75 yards per carry. Not efficient.
Yeah, I mean, this Falcons defense is not bad.
No, not at all. No, they're a good defense. And that was Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley scored a touchdown and kind of salvaged his day productive wise, but he's still struggling. He only had 2 receptions for 38 yards on 2 targets. Like that's just not the Calvin Ridley we saw week 1. And I'm hoping he bounces back eventually. Christian Kirk had a big day. He was the best receiver, 8 for 84 on 12 targets. So that was nice to see the target split from Christian Kirk, 12 targets to 2 for Calvin Ridley. So look at Pacheco running like a madman out there. Pacheco scores 10-0. All right, so that's kind of where I'm at there. It's really hard to start any offense.
Taylor.
Yeah, they're already showing Taylor Swift, so I'm sure you will be seeing that all game today. But yeah, Drake London scored 1 touchdown. Kyle Pitts another low production game, so it's hard to trust anyone outside of Bijan Robinson on this Falcons team.
I mean, you can trust all of them. It's just Ritter. It's just Ritter's. Oh, you're saying fantasy-wise.
Yeah, fantasy-wise, just starting them until they put in Heineke, and maybe Heineke can kind of kickstart something offensively, but it's just tough as of right now. So that's that matchup.
I can't wait till Justin Fields goes to the Falcons.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to bring up. When I talk about the Bears matchup, I was going to bring this up that I think the Falcons are watching this Justin Fields situation very closely.
The rumor's already out.
Yeah, the rumor's out. Falcons are interested in Fields. And can you imagine Justin Fields in an Artie Smith type of offense? Like that running scheme is just, that would be deadly. So
perfect for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm ready.
Well, let's segue right into the Bears Broncos game then, since we're talking Justin Fields. This is the game I was glued to all morning, all that afternoon, and I liked what I saw. Obviously, through the first 3 quarters, it was great. I mean, Justin Fields goes 23 for 24 through the first 3 quarters. 285 yards and 4 touchdowns. We finally started to see what Justin Fields would look like when he's comfortable. And I loved every minute of it. And even Khalil Herbert looked good most of the game, running the ball well, but Matt Eberflus makes the wrong call and goes for it on 4th and 1 when we should have kicked the field goal. And if we would have kicked that field goal, that game would have turned out entirely different. However, the Bears still let up 24 unanswered points after being up, what was that, like 20? I don't know what it was.
28-7.
Yeah, 28-7, and then they let up 24 unanswered points. You just can't do that. You know what I mean? You got to close out those games. So it was deflating, very much so, watching the game. And, there's not much else to say about that. But one thing I do want to bring up, I was looking into this. I saw a tweet by someone, I can't think of the name of it, but in 2022 through the first 4 weeks, Justin Fields, 565 passing yards through the first 4 weeks of last year. First 4 weeks of this year, 861. There's some movement in the right direction there. Huh?
And they're 0-4.
And they're 0-4, yes. Yes. This was their 14th loss in a row.
I mean, like, whatever that stat you just brought up, he got half of his yards in this game. So, like,
well, yeah, but still, if you take away the 300 yards, you're still looking at he got his
335.
Yes, if you take that away, he
from
still
what?
would
861. Okay, so that's 526 in 3 games
through 3 weeks.
That's horrible.
And through 4 weeks last year, he was 565. See what I'm saying there?
526 is what we're saying is left over.
Yeah, that was
3 games.
For 3 games. And
last not even 200 a game.
Yeah, but last year in 4 games, he got 565. So he's stepping in the right direction.
This is all irrelevant. They're 0-4, and he may not have a job by the end of the year. So,
yeah, he'll have a job somewhere, maybe as a backup, but
yeah,
it'll be
not
somewhere.
in Chicago. I mean,
no, not in Chicago.
Yeah, DJ Moore had a big game. Cole Kmet had 2 touchdowns. I don't know. I didn't see much from the Broncos.
Well, one injury that we wanted, Javonte Williams left with a hip injury, and I thought Samaje Perine would step in, but it was Jaleel McLaughlin. He looked really good out there. He was running all over the Bears, juke moves. He just looks real shifty. So other than that, the Broncos offense was pretty lackluster. Not much going on there.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, Cole Kmet, 1 touchdown, DJ Moore, Khalil Herbert, 18 for 103. Roshan just 5 for 13. Like, can you not get Roshan involved? I guess they didn't really need to through the first 3 quarters. They were doing well. So, how about this Dolphins-Bills game, dude?
Yeah,
that game did not disappoint. Did you get to catch that one at all or no? I know that was one you were looking forward to.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I love the Bills. They're playing awesome. Josh Allen looks incredible. 3 touchdowns for Diggs. This is just the Bills, what they built there, and playing at their best ability. We knew this is exactly what I said was going to happen in this game. Bills are going to play to their absolute best because they understand the situation, and that's exactly what they did. They executed, and A-Chain looks like an absolute force.
Yeah. 8 for 101 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
he's a must start moving forward.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen accounted for 5 touchdowns. He ran 1 and threw 4, so massive day from Allen. How about this? James Cook finally got a red zone rushing touchdown. They gave him the ball at the goal line, and he punched it in. I couldn't believe it, but I'd love to see that as a James Cook owner.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Nothing. I'm just trying to speed things up a little bit.
Yeah, I gotcha. Ravens, Browns.
Ravens, Browns. I didn't see much of that. DTRs in the game. Once that was announced, I pretty much just said, like, I'll look at the box score. I don't need to pay attention to anything there. Game's irrelevant.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson didn't play. DTR was playing. Other than that, the whole entire Browns offense was terrible. You'd be mad if you started any one of them. Jerome Ford, 9 for 26. The big story for me is Lamar played really, really well against a really good defense. Mark Andrews shows up, gets 2 touchdowns. It's great to see, finally. And Lamar, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 2 touchdowns in the air. Massive day against Cleveland. Didn't think that was going to play out that way, but played really well.
Did you just see who was on the TV there? They showed T Swift again.
Did they?
And she's with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, the stars are coming out now for Chiefs games, I guess.
Apparently. I don't know. I right when I saw DTR in the lineup, I figured this game football-wise means nothing.
Yeah, I know some people were willing to take the chance on DTR from what we saw in the preseason, but you guys need to understand, for the preseason does not translate into the regular season production. You can't base that on each other. So I got a couple questions this morning with Keith on the Start Sit podcast, and somebody brought up DTR, and I'm like,
congratulations. He did good against guys that literally aren't in the NFL right now.
Yeah. Exactly. So don't read too much into the preseason production. Yeah. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Houston Texans? Texans whomped them 30-6.
Stroud's the real deal, man. It's crazy.
Seriously, another big game from him. 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins, man, another massive game as a resurgence from the first couple of weeks. 7 for 168 and 2. Love to see that from Nico Collins. He's a beast. And Kenny Pickett goes down with a knee injury. Insert
Mitchie Mitch.
I've blocked him from my memory, but yeah, Mitch Trubisky. Insert Mitch, and I guess he's going to be going moving forward. We'll hear more about this injury as the week progresses. But Pat Freiermuth also went out with a hamstring injury. It's just something to note. We could see Darnell Washington come into play next week. But this Pittsburgh team, 6 points, not good. And Pickett played the majority of the game too. It's not like that was an early injury.
Things do not look good there either.
No, not at all. I think I did see Najee had a decent game, 14 for 71. Jaylen Warren was very active in the passing game, caught 6 balls, so it's still kind of a 1A to 1B situation over there. I know we're monitoring that to see what flips. I know you said earlier in the week you wanted to see who would step up in that game. The Vikings get their first win in Carolina, 21-13. There was a point in this game I didn't think the Vikings were going to win it. I thought the Panthers were going to pull out a victory here, but they didn't. Justin Jefferson, 6 for 85 and 2 touchdowns. He's a beast. JJ, again, is a beast. Kirk Cousins is what I wanted to bring up. 2 interceptions. He went 12 for 19, 139 yards in a 21-13 victory. Doesn't make any sense to me how Kirk Cousins can win a game going 12 for 19, 139, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. Bad game overall with Kirk Cousins, but they pull out the win in Carolina and help the Bears draft class next year. So
they got the Chiefs next week. That's a loss. They're 1-4. They play the Bears. At this point, that's a win. They're 2-4. And then they have the Niners, Packers, Falcons, Saints. Those could all 4 be losses.
Yeah.
They could be 2-8. Probably going to be 3-7.
Yeah, at that point, they're probably looking to move on from Kirk. So we'll see what happens there. One surprisingly good game that I liked here watching earlier today was the Rams and the Colts game. The Rams went up early, and then the Colts ended up coming back later on. The Rams won 29-23 in overtime. Stafford, 300 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Kyron Williams, another big game, 25 carries, 103 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Puka Nacua comes back after a quiet week 3.
Walk-off.
And with the walk-off tutty in overtime, that was huge. He got the game ball in the locker room afterwards. He went 9 for 163 and a touchdown. Just a massive day by Puka. And next week, supposedly Cooper Kupp is back.
He's practicing. I don't know if he's back.
Yeah, we'll see. But I know he's eligible to return next week, so we'll see how that goes. Other than that, Anthony Richardson stepped up. He was running all over the field, 10 for 56, touchdown on the ground, 2 touchdowns in the air late. Looked pretty good. But other than that, Michael Pittman was quiet. Josh Downs was quiet. Zach Moss, decent game, 18 for 70.
Yeah. Richardson needs to clean some things up, and looks like he's going to be a good NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I think so. I from what we see, I think he's going to have some success moving forward. How about the Buccaneers beating the Saints in New Orleans, 26-9?
Well, that was a wild one.
Yeah, Derek Carr, 23 for 37, 127 yards. That's it. Maybe Carr shouldn't have been playing in this game.
I don't know why he did.
Yeah, I guess they're just not comfortable going with Jameis Winston. So, but Mike Evans goes out with a hamstring, leaves the game. Mike Evans injury. Insert good game for Chris Godwin, 8 for 114. And Alvin Kamara, welcome back to the NFL. Alvin Kamara, 13 receptions, 33 yards. How do you go 13 for 33? Just little dump offs here and there, but still 13 receptions, 33 yards, 11 carries, 51 yards. Yeah, you don't understand that, right? I've never seen a stat line like that. 13 receptions for 33 yards. Wild. Absolutely wild. But yeah, the Buccaneers are now 3-1. Saints are 2-2. And we'll see what happens next week. Now we got the Commanders at Philly. This was another close game. Sam Howell ended up coming back late with a touchdown to Jahan Dotson. Yeah, it was great to see Dotson finally getting involved. Very happy about that. But yeah, the Commanders are just scrappy, man. They're able to hang on to a close game against one of the better teams in the NFL. And the Bears end up taking on the Commanders next week, Thursday Night Football.
Loss.
Yeah, that's going to be a loss for the Bears. The Bears are going to be 0-5, and we'll talk about when that happens. Terry McLaurin, big game, 8 for 86. Outside of that, Jahan Dotson, the 4 for 27 and a touchdown. Only notable things coming out of Washington, and also Antonio Gibson is trash, and I regret ever drafting him. Right? On the Eagles side of the ball, DeAndre Swift salvaged his game with a touchdown. He went 14 for 56. A.J. Brown, massive game. 9 receptions, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just out there dogging people. And Devontae Smith, 7 for 78. Just overall, a great game by the Eagles. They ended up winning in overtime, incredible fashion, and they're one of the better teams in the NFL. There's nothing changed there.
Yes, sir.
What the hell's going on with Joe Burrow? Why is he out there playing football? The Bengals couldn't do a damn thing today against the Tennessee Titans. They lose 3-27 in Tennessee. They fall to 1-3. Tennessee's 2-2. Joe Burrow, 165 yards. I don't know if you saw this. Jamar Chase was asked. Did you see that? Yeah, I'm always fucking open. He said he was not holding back, and he is noticeably frustrated. So we'll see what happens there. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. I don't know what they're gonna do next week. Like it's not helping having him on the field. You're not winning this game. The offense looked terrible all game. And
I don't understand who that comment to Jamar, like who that Jamar comment was to.
To a reporter. So the reporter just asked him. They said, like, through the, do you find yourself having difficult times getting open? Is that where the struggle is? And he just turned and said, no, I'm always fucking open. So he's noticeably frustrated, but I think it's that offensive line too. They're just not giving Joe Burrow time. Maybe we can bring on Just Eric soon, and he can give us a nice little idea of what the hell's going on in Cincinnati, because the panic alarm is going off.
Yeah, I'll hit him up.
Yeah. On the other side of the ball, Derrick Henry, massive game, 22 carries, 122 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, along with a throwing touchdown. He was in the goal line at like wildcat formation, takes the snap, shuffles to the right, and just tosses it up and completes the touchdown pass. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, other than that, outside of Derrick Henry, really nothing notable in this game. Now, did you get to watch these 3:00 games at all? The Raiders, Chargers.
I had the Cowboys on. That was domination. That was the same as that week 1 against the Giants. Literally, in my mind, the same exact game.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's an absolute freak of nature, animal. He's the man. Ayuk is still Purdy's favorite target.
Yep.
The Chargers somehow blew that game and then got lucky.
Yeah,
and that's what I saw there.
Yeah, Justin Herbert, I thought he was going to have a much better game. Only threw for 167 yards after previously throwing for like 400 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs has a really good game. 8 receptions, 81 yards for Josh Jacobs, along with 17 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Massive game. Aiden O'Connell, the backup quarterback for Jimmy G.
Kyle Orton 2.0.
Yeah, 24 for 39, 238 yards, and a interception. So, not a great game, but
rushing
touchdown.
He had a rushing touchdown.
Yes, he had a rushing touchdown, but I'm talking about in the air. Did not throw a touchdown pass and threw an interception. But he kept the game decently close until the end of the game with that interception by the Chargers. So
he's a gunslinger.
That's intriguing. Yeah, intriguing to see as a Raiders fan. But you're right, dude. This Cowboys Patriots game, it is the worst loss that Bill Belichick has ever suffered. He has never lost by this wide of a margin. 38-3. The Dallas Cowboys house the Patriots. And next week we have Cowboys 49ers. It's going to be a great game.
Yep.
I'm so excited for that.
It's exciting.
And then, 49ers, Cardinals, 35-16. Christian McCaffrey is just a dog. 4 touchdowns.
Such a beast.
Yeah. I mean, there's really nothing else to talk about with this one. That 14.5 spread still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So how are you doing? How are you doing in your fantasy leagues? Good.
Yeah, I haven't honestly been looking at I got a new bed, so I'm trying to put that together, and then I'm just getting settled back in after this weekend. So I'm not. My head is not in fantasy football right now. My head is in food that I'm about to destroy. That got here late, of course, and right when we started, and then I got trying to get this bed put together so I can sleep in a bed tonight and not on my couch.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and cut it short. We're gonna we've covered the slate, talked about the fantasy fallout, and we'll be back early next week. We're talking fantasy hitchhikers, the waivers. We have red light, green light with Shane O'Mac, and then some more live streams next week. So stay tuned. Follow us at Fantasy Roadshow, at fantasy_trucker, at Kulz_sports. Follow the Substack, thefantasyroadshow.substack.com. Check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/sportsethos. Like and subscribe. And stay tuned. We got more coming for you. Buckle up, everybody.
Buckle up.